The final segment of today's video, we're bringing it back. Jaren made me watch another movie, and I watched it.
This segment, which is called Jaren makes Evan watch a movie, and then we talk about it.
We still don't have a name for it. What movie did you make me watch this week?
I made Evan watch one of the greatest action thrillers of all time. Called Casino Royale, which is the first of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. And it should be noted, I didn't tell Evan this. I told him nothing. I just told him, hey, watch this movie. I know I should also shout out to Hannah. Hannah was like, hey, you should have Evan watch Casino Royale. And I was like, you know what, Hannah? That's a great idea. And so I told Evan to watch it. But it should be noted that, yeah, I'm going to say it. The Casino Royale is the first of 5 movies. And these 5 movies together as like a group are my favorite movies, like series. Like these movies. Now, don't hold back. Like if you don't like this movie, don't hold back. Like, you know, I want you to be honest with me here. Because this is actually really interesting for me because
I'll be very honest.
Because I'm very movie headed and you're very not. So go ahead, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts.
I should open by saying.
You said,
I should open by saying I didn't know this was a James Bond movie.
Oh, yo, that would be dope. That would be dope going in and not knowing. That's such a cool experience. Wait. Did you not know that until I told you, or you had to figure it out because they call him Bond?
No, like I knew. No, but I mean, before I searched
going into it. Yeah.
Going into it, I didn't know it was a James Bond movie. I just thought Casino Royale, whatever. I was like, oh, it's a James Bond movie, and I'm like, I ain't never seen one of these before. I've never seen a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
And so this is my first thing, and I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna wait. No, wait. You just say it.
No. Say what you were gonna say.
Okay. I'm sorry. I get really excited when I talk about these movies because, look, I was willing to pay $42 to get the last movie's soundtrack on vinyl. So, yeah, I really like these movies. Anyway, the Casino Royale is just in, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people that are James Bond fans believe that Casino Royale is one of the best, if not the best, James Bond movie to ever release. Now, there's some competition. There's a couple other movies that get thrown in that discussion, but what were you saying?
I really like this movie.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. This is one of my I love this movie.
I was like, yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you right here, this isn't even my favorite James Bond movie. It's not even my favorite one.
I would be up for another James Bond movie, but I also want to expand my horizons.
Oh, yeah.
The thing was for me, like,
we might come back to this. We might come back to the series. We might do the series one by one, but we'll that's actually a pretty good idea. But we'll do some other movies and we'll do some other movies in between.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I'd say
I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Like I really liked it. Like,
yeah.
I am not a movie guy. This is no secret. That's why we do this segment.
I'm making you a movie guy.
You are.
I know the first movie I threw at you was a stupid rom-com. I'm gonna start throwing you some really
bangers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, even with the first one, right? Like, with all due respect, I did watch it in 1.5 times speed because I was just
Evan, no. Oh, that's just.
I was just like, all right, let's.
The thing is, I know you're serious, and no, I can't.
I watched the rom-com in 1.5 times speed because and there were times I was wait, I need it. There were times I was like, no, I need to drop this to 1.25.
Wait, no, I remember. Wait, okay, no, I know you watched the rom-com in 1.5 speed. Are you saying you watched Casino Royale in 1.5 speed too?
I'm saying I started with it in 1.5 times speed.
And you lowered it to 1.25.
No. I actually was like, wait a minute. This is kind of sick. So I lowered it to regular speed.
Oh, okay. That's a compliment. Okay.
I watched the whole 2.5 hours at regular speed, and I was freaking. What?
Yo, okay. So, how far into the movie were you like, okay, I'm gonna watch this normally because this is good?
2 minutes.
Okay.
Like it was soon. It was soon. Because it was like during that original. It was during that opening scene in the bathroom.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
That's when I was like, hey, wait a minute, this is kind of cool.
So then that means you watched all of the parkour chase scene in normal
speed. In real
speed.
time, yes.
That scene is such a well-done chase scene.
Yes, it is unreal.
They fight on a freaking crane. Tell me about it. What do you think of that scene? I love that scene. It's like a 6-minute chase that ends in an embassy. It's so good.
It was very cool. Oh, there was one thing I remember being like, I don't know about that one, Chief, but I forget exactly what it was about. But that is definitely a cool scene where they're like running through the embassy, and then he like shoots the barrel and it explodes, and he runs away, right? And then he's back in the English government, and they're like, "You killed everyone."
That's his. Okay. I got a couple things to say just as. Yeah. First off, it's kind of I really appreciate that they acknowledge that, like the fact that he kills a bunch of people, because, and from what I understand, I haven't seen a ton of the old James Bond. I haven't seen a ton of them. From what I understand, they're a little bit more cheesy, like maybe just a little bit goofier. Not all of them are, but they also, Bond is very much this one-dimensional character where he's a good guy, like he's doing good things, but he's also kind of a piece of crap, because he's a womanizer, he's a player, and Daniel Craig's James Bond very much is that, but you're going to see, as we hopefully watch more of these movies.
I am not opposed to it all.
Yeah, that he grows from this very selfish, cocky, arrogant, young agent. He grows into this man who comes to understand the value of life, and he has this toll that's weighed on him. And I will say that his conclusion is extremely satisfying, and I'm excited for you to see that. But back to what you were saying.
The movie continues, and we're introduced to Le Chiffre, which, by the way, ridiculously, that is such a badass name, it's not fair to the rest of us.
Yeah.
You're Le Chiffre? Le what now? But it's balanced out by how ugly this man is. Like,
he's such a good villain because...
Yes, he's the perfect villain.
Well, you tell me. Tell me what you think you like about him. I'm just curious.
Ugly as frick. Okay. I'm sorry. The way they done up his makeup or something, he's looking like he's made of plastic. He's got this weird scar.
I don't even think he's ugly. I think he's just creepy.
Yes, yes. And like the way they've done his hair and everything, he just looks like he has an attraction to kids or something. But and he's got this like model girlfriend. And he's playing poker on a boat and whatever. And then Bond like flies over and he's doing all this shady stuff, and I didn't understand not the intro, but like that original scene, or no, it is the intro when they're like giving the money, and he's like, all right, short this stock, and I was like, yo, what's going on?
Help you understand what.
Yes, but then it comes back in, and he's at the airport, and they're trying to blow up this plane to tank the company so that the short go, and I was like. That was the first time in the movie.
They're rigging stocks.
They're rigging stocks. Yeah. And that was the first point in the movie where I was like, okay, holy heck, this has my attention. Like I've been watching it in normal speed
really
for
cool.
a while, but I was like, that is freaking cool. And then he stops it and he goes to this crazy fight scene, and it's ice cold. Yeah. And then, of course, the one girl he was going at it with winds up dead in a hammock, and I'm like, all right, how did we end up here?
Oh, yeah. Her. Okay. Continue, sorry. I'm really excited. I love these movies.
Dude, it was so freaking cool. And then, like, how this Le Chiffre guy is in all this debt, and so he starts this high-class poker tournament.
We're kind of, like, basically... We should explain spoilers. I guess this movie's 20 years old. Basically.
All sorts of spoilers here.
But like, the movie starts with Bond it's his initiation to become a 00. It starts with him he's killing a guy in a bathroom, and it's doing flashbacks and stuff. And then he's in this room with a guy that he's been sent to kill, and the dude's like, "Oh, I've got you," and he's pointing a gun at Bond, and he's like, "Haha." And he's like talking all this trash, and then he's like, "Oh, so you already got your first kill as a 00," and he's like, and then he's like, Bond's like, "Oh, I'm not actually a 00. You're my last kill to be a 00." And then the dude tries to shoot him, but Bond is a G and knew where he hid his gun, so he pulled the mag out, and then he kills him with it, and it's like, it's so good. It's such a good scene. But anyway, I need to talk faster because, anyway, basically, Le Chiffre rigging stocks. He is, the way he's getting the money to profit off of that is he is essentially a private banker for bad people, terrorists, military organizations, all this kind of stuff. They give him the money. And what they don't know is that he takes it, invests it in things, and profits off of it. And they still get their money that they're owed. And so when he tries to blow up that airplane to tank a stock and then he would profit because he essentially bet against it. Yeah, he shorted it. He would have gotten a ton of money, but when the plane doesn't blow up because Bond stops it from happening, he loses out on a bunch of money, which puts him in a bunch of trouble. So then they have a high stakes. He's really good at poker, and so then this is where the high stakes poker game comes in. The whole point of this is that he is trying to get the money back that he lost because he has all these other terrorist organizations and all these other dudes coming after him. So the reason he's such a good villain is because he is just as desperate to win, if not more desperate to win, than Bond is. Because not only is Bond's life in danger...
That is a great connection I never would have drawn.
His life is in danger. His life is at stake.
You're making me realize why I like this movie so much. Yeah, I never would have been able to articulate this.
The reason he is so desperate for this whole time is because he used to have power and then he's had it taken away from him. And so him and Bond are at odds, and it's so good. And so eventually, we get to the poker game. Bond, before he gets there, meets his new partner Vesper, who he's going to be working with. She's part of the is it FBI?
Accountant.
Well, she's an accountant for the FBI, or is it MI6? Is she part of MI6? I don't know. I can't remember. The organization doesn't really matter that much. But I love, right off the bat, the relationship between Vesper and Bond when they first meet. You're like, oh shoot, this chick's freaking hot. Bond's about to get some. And it's like, sheesh. But what you don't know is that it's not the basic Bond thing where he just like has, he doesn't just fornicate with her and then like, dip. Like he actually, what I was saying earlier to Evan about like seeing this character grow through these 5 movies. In this movie alone, Bond goes through so much development, or a decent amount, because he goes from this guy who just doesn't care to a guy who kind of starts to discover that he can have this affinity for caring for other people. Because when he talks to M, who is the leader of MI6, it's after the first events of the movie. She's so super mad at him for just being super reckless and causing a big scene with the embassy and all this other stuff, and he just doesn't care. Like, he just doesn't. But then you get about probably about halfway through the movie, there's a fight that goes down in the hotel that they're staying at during the poker match, and Vesper is just like traumatized by it. And so he finds her crying, like she has her dress on, she's sitting in the shower in their hotel room, and she's just like crying, and she's like shell shocked. And he like, instead, he doesn't like take advantage of her or anything like that. Instead, he sits down next to her and is just present with her and comforts her. And I think that's so cool to see him. You get to see a lot more of that as the character grows, especially at the end of the movie where he retires. They beat Le Chiffre, or whatever. I'm American, I don't know how these things are pronounced. But he beats Le Chiffre, and him and Vesper are able to... Oh, I should mention. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of jumping and I shouldn't be.
You're good.
Bond beats Le Chiffre, gets the money with the CIA's help. Felix he becomes Bond, really good friends with Bond, especially in later movies. But he is an agent of the CIA who isn't as good. Him and Bond are on the same side, but they're on a kind of opposing agencies, but they're trying to do the same thing. So Bond loses all his money, and Vesper isn't willing to give him any more because she is worried he'll fail. Felix, the CIA dude, gives him his money because he sees that Bond has
the money to buy back into the poker.
Yeah,
tournament,
yeah. So
so
buy
there's
back
a poker
into
tournament, and it's $10 million to get in, $5 million to buy back in, and Bond thinks he's caught Le Chiffre's tell, but Le Chiffre is informed that Bond has his tell, so he changes it. Bond goes all in, loses. Mm-hmm. No one's gonna give him the money to buy back in. But he knows he can beat Le Chiffre. He knows he's a better poker player. So this other guy, Felix, says, "You know what? I'll give you the money to buy back in."
Yeah, yeah. And the only caveat is that when he does that, the CIA are the ones to bring in Le Chiffre, not MI6. And Bond agrees.
Yeah.
And so at first that's the arrangement, right? But then after Bond beats him, he finds out that Vesper. He's like, oh shoot. Where's Vesper? She gets kidnapped. He gets in his super dope Aston Martin, freaking goes on a chase, and then but then they know it's a trap, right? So they have Vesper, and he turns a corner going like 100 whatever down this like twisty road. It's at the middle of the night. When he turns left, she's right there on the road, so he swerves to miss her, and the car goes freaking rolling. And that wreck that he's in, that set a record for most flips in a car in a movie. Actually, it's kind of cool. And essentially they get captured. Bond starts getting interrogated by Le Chiffre, which is a really good scene.
Terrifying scene, though.
It's also terrifying as a guy because Bond's naked, the hole's been cut out of the chair that he's strapped to, and Le Chiffre is just swinging a rope and smacking him in the
it
private
hurts
parts.
thinking about it.
Yeah. But it's a really good scene, but not because he's getting.
Darren just likes
some ball torture. No. But then all of a sudden, Bond gets saved by like who saves him, and they never find out, and it's weird. But then you kind of find out later.
It's alluded to that Vesper makes a deal.
Yeah. Eventually, you find out.
Vesper's in another.
You find out
room
more about
tortured.
Yeah, Vesper is in another room, and he's not giving up the information, but they're threatening to kill Vesper. Yada yada. Anyway, when they get out, him and Vesper essentially he essentially confesses his love for her, and he retires, and they go off and start to live together, and it's only been like a day or two, a couple of days I think, and they're wanting to. They got the money from the poker winnings. They got to keep the money. The CIA got to take in Le Chiffre, except Le Chiffre actually died. That never happened. But so one day,
does Le Chiffre die?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stupid. We watch him die.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure you watch him die. You see him get shot.
Brain fart. Yeah, sorry.
But basically, I know this movie sounds really complicated, but if you watch it, it does make more sense. But it's also like a 2.5 hour.
2.5 hour movie. It's hard to summarize.
Yeah.
But then she goes to give the money away.
Well, Bond begins to suspect something because he was like, wait, the funds haven't been transferred yet? And he comes to find out that she's taking the money to somebody else. And you're like, uh-oh, is Vesper actually a bad guy? Well, come to find out, Vesper's not actually bad, but she was being blackmailed, essentially, by by the organization that she made a deal with to save them. And
so they're in this torture room, and she makes a deal with these people that they'll get the money if they let them live.
Yeah, or if they save them.
If they save them. So they are saved, but now she has to give the money to these people.
Yeah. And
which
Bond is suspicious of her because she's pulled all the money from the account and it hasn't been transferred to the right account. And he's like, uh-oh. And so then he kind of goes into classic, like, he's reverting back to his old skeptical Bond, his ruthless, unforgiving, angry state. And I think he's more upset that he feels betrayed. And essentially, he's following her, but then he sees that there's a deal going on, but then he gets seen. And so then they take her captive, and then this building starts to fall down. Long story short, Bond doesn't care about the money. Bond doesn't get the money. He tries to save Vesper, but he can't. And the evil people get away with the money, and he loses the love of his life. And the thing is, Vesper truly did love him, but it's hard for him to... He just wishes she was honest with her. It's actually a pretty heartbreaking scene.
It's a hard part to watch, I can't lie.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, this kind of sucks.
The only reason she did what she did and didn't tell him is because... I think one of her, it was like her lover from like wherever she was from was being held captive. But I think he wasn't actually even alive. Yeah. I don't think so. Oh wait, no. Sorry. At the very end of the movie. Oh wait, no. Sorry. I almost just spoiled the next movie. Whew, I dodged a bullet there. But yeah,
for me, that's the lengthy recap.
Yeah, but... I'm sorry. It took a while to recap that movie because
it's a long movie. Happens. There's a lot that goes on.
Kudos to you guys if you're
still listening. At an hour 35.
I'm not kidding when I say I really do believe it's one of the greatest movies ever made. And there's a couple other James Bond movies that I like more.
It is up there of the movies I've ever seen, which is not a very long list.
Which is not a long list.
For me, I think for as action and fantasy as this is, there's a level of like, not fantasy, fiction, sorry, give me a break. For the action and fiction that this is, there's like a real level of believability to a lot, and I think it's that poker tournament, that like hour and 15 minutes where it's just scenes back and forth in a poker room and in the hotel room. That is one of the greatest like hours I've spent watching a movie because I am just fully invested. I am like, this is sick because, like you said, because the stakes are so high, and I love that everyone at the table knows what's going on. Like Le Chiffre knows he's playing against James Bond. James Bond knows he's against Le Chiffre. They both know the stakes. And they're like trying to call each other.
Nobody's saying it, and you know.
And then there's people getting held captive in the hotel room, and there's a whole fight scene in between.
There's people dying in stairways.
There's people dying in stairwells.
Oh yeah,
like, it is.
We didn't even mention Bond gets put into cardiac arrest because
his drink gets spiked.
Because he gets spiked, and so he has to. He goes out to his car and has to try to save himself, but then he almost dies. And Vesper finds him and saves him, and then it's a whole mess, and it's crazy, man.
It is an incredible hour, or however long that poker scene is. Yeah. That was such because the psychology going on there, even though it's a fictional movie, that was a crazy thing to watch.
It's so impressive to me that you can, like, I don't know, like, poker's interesting to me. It's fun. But, like, the fact that you can make essentially an hour of people just playing poker
like,
that
thrilling.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I am just
crazy.
Look, that was a very good suggestion, Hannah. I thoroughly enjoyed my time watching that movie.
Bro, Hannah actually, I think I actually told her this, maybe in a comment section. I think she's our viewer with the best taste. Like, as a blanketed, like, movies, books, music, anything.
Hannah.
You need Hannah. Ask Hannah. Ask Hannah for it. Yeah. All right. Well.